Welcome back to Leicester City Down Under. Joined as pretty much nearly always, Chris. How you going, mate?
I'm very good. How are you all down under? Hopefully enjoying some nice summer. We've got rain again, but we've had 4 days of sun and that's summer gone.
We're just about to hit. We're in autumn, hitting into winter, so it's just starting to cool down now. Chris, I didn't get too much.
Cool down over our wet and windy.
And I didn't really get a chance to talk to you too much about the West Brom game, mate. We'll quickly round that up with you before we get into it. Nervy performance. I don't know how much longer your heart can take it.
Look, it was almost like our turn, because what Plymouth and Millwall did to us, we did to West Brom. Yes. Overall, you can't deny that they deserve something from it. They should have been out of sight by half time, but I think they had Daka paying up front for them, and they couldn't hit a barn door with the old banjo. And then we should have had 3 ourselves, because obviously we had the penalty miss, which Vardy stood up, hit the post. I know Daka would have got it, but so it was almost like it was meant to be on that day. Do you know what I mean? And I think, yes. Yes, I know West Brom got one back, but it was just a role reversal from the Millwall and the Plymouth games.
It was, but it was nice, to be honest. But like at the end of the day, you can still say the exact same thing for us. Like the game could have been dead and buried if Vardy, puts that penalty away. We had another chance where, very similar to I think it was the Plymouth game, LTiDtv put a ball directly in front of him. Another chance he missed. So if they get put away, complete different game as well. So it was nice to have some luck go our way. It was just, we're a little bit blessed, don't get me wrong, but Hamza Chowdhury, mate, I'm sure all of you picked him as man of the match.
We did. You had to go, but Kate went for Hermansson and a 6 out for the team performance. Dave went for 6. The rest of us went 7, and we all went Hamza. Now, can I just say, I was happy when Hamza signed a new contract, because I think in his role as a defensive midfielder, it is fantastic. Normally in his role as a, that Ricardo role where, he's right back, but he goes into midfield. That's not his best position. And everybody, all of us, pre-game, when we saw that team, were like, what? What's he doing? And he's brought Cody in fantastic, but he's put Faze out onto the left, and then obviously Faze set up a goal. And we know nothing about football, do we? So I'm really pleased for Hamza, that he had such a good game, because it was one of those Susan Boyle. You probably don't even know who Susan Boyle is. It was what in the UK we call a Susan Boyle moment, where everybody was laughing, and then suddenly it's like nobody's laughing now. She was on Britain's Got Talent, just in case you're wondering. And what again? He stopped one with his right, one with his left, one with his head. It was the hat trick of goal line clearances from him. Man of the match, definitely. I just hope that, Enzo came on at the end of the game and was hugging him and kissing him and holding his hand up. Very reminiscent of Rodgers after
Liverpool.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Never played for the club again under Rodgers. In fact, Rodgers even sent him out on loan, having done that. And in my BBC post, which normally goes up tomorrow, but they said tell me they're putting it up today, I actually say that I hope Enzo is better than Rodgers. Exactly. We missed it. I hope that Enzo is better than Brendan in the fact that, yes, come on and give him all that hype. And he may well drop him for for tomorrow night's game, because it's within 24 hours, and he may make those natural changes for the 2 close games. But I hope he treats him with the respect that he now deserves, and respect that Brendan, the Seal, didn't afford him after that Liverpool game.
Fucking Seal. You raised a good point, mate. I didn't get a chance to because I didn't get to do the pre-match show with you, and I've always wondered before how we would go if we were to play Cody, Faze, and Vestergaard all in the same back three, but essentially then we have no fullbacks because it's a like for like. We either have Doyle or we have JJ. Now, it was very interesting. I never got a chance to ask you, like, we were all worried, as you just said, about Chowdhury being in the starting 11 in that position. Now, I wonder, well, obviously he had a blinder, but I was worried going into that, was there going to be a lack of pace in the back three, or you could call it a back four. To me, it looks like a back three. Now, is that because Cody was able to help with his, being a vocal leader and helping stay in position, or is that just, Hamza having a blinder? Now, going into what you were saying as for the ceiling, getting the respect he deserves, I still think it's great that he had a great game. And what's not less talked about is, Ricardo Pereira's now had a rest, and also he's going to be ready for this big game, which could see us promoted if results go our way. Now, as good a great of a game he is, this is going to sound harsh. Do I want to see him starting? No, I still think Ricky P needs to start. And if Hamza didn't have the blinder he had, maybe we would have saw Ricky P come on the 60, 70-minute mark. But I know that sounds harsh. He had a great game, and I'm very happy. I'm not saying I ever want to see him again, but you can't. It's not Ricky P's done nothing wrong. And I want to say something just quickly because you talk to you. Everyone check out Chris's Let's Talk Leicester City because it's a great podcast. But Kate, ask her about it if she doesn't bring it up. She mentioned to me the other day in a message, she says, I don't know if she said it on your show, but she said as good of a show it is for Hamza showing performance, everything he does is kind of out of desperation. On the ball, he's still sometimes a bit of a liability. And again, it's not being harsh. I'm not saying he was that bad, but there's a complete difference in quality between Ricky P and Hamza.
That has to be the longest question I've ever had.
Sorry, mate. I went full grad on you there.
Everybody see the next show. No, I don't know where to start. Let's start with the last one because that's the one I remember. We're actually, Let's Talk Leicester, which is a debate show on Leicester Till I Die. In fact, tonight we are, one of the topics is Hamza the most misunderstood player at the club? Look, we haven't got a Messi. And I know a lot of people think the sun shines out of Vardy's arse and he's fantastic, but he's not Lionel Messi. We've not got those players. So we've got hard-working players. Hamza is one of those. The defending on the whole was desperate at the weekend, not just Hamza. And the fact that he put himself on the line, you have to give him credit for. Because he made that decision, or we may well have been told to be on the line, but never seen him do that before, 3 times in a game. So let's give him some credit,
Yeah.
He's not Ricky P. If it was A or B, you would pick Ricky P. I would pick Ricky P. He is the more all-round player. However, for whatever reason, I think it was probably injury, or the fact that we've got the 2 games coming up within the space of 48 hours, 22 hours, whatever. He started Hamza. And like I say, I'm no different to everybody else. I went, oh really? Love him. Was pleased he got his contract extension, but that isn't his best role. But he had a fantastic game, and we can't take that away from him. And Brad said this after to me and Dave, more to Dave than me. We won the game. Let's not look for too many. Let's not criticize too much. We actually got 3 points at the end of the day. It could just take us over the line. Those saves, as bad as let's say Daka's misses are and may cost us, that may just get us over the line. Those saves that he made, because West Brom could have been out of sight. So pace, no, we haven't got any pace at the back. That was my worry. Absolutely pleased to see Cody come in. And you saw with their goal that Cody was he was keeping up with the defender, but when he went off he's then sort of split to try and go behind Matt, who was coming out, and then he was out of position and he hadn't got the pace to sort of get back onto the goal line to clear it. But what Cody does is Cody doesn't go as far upfield as Vestergaard and Faze does. And that's the problem with Vestergaard and Faze. You've got them when they're playing centre back, they go in so far, such a high line, so far upfield, and Faze has, I guess, but Vestergaard haven't got the pace coming back. Now, Cody was doing that, I'd been more worried. But Cody does tend to sort of hang about a little bit, and if Chowdhury's gone upfield, he's kind of moved across to fill that gap on the right. It's the footballing brain. Sometimes you don't need speed. Look at Tony Cottee when we had him. He was absolutely at the end of his career. I think we were his last club, but he didn't need the speed because he had Emil Heskey to give him the speed, and that's what Cody's got. He stays behind. He sees that Vestergaard's gone forward, so he doesn't, make that run forward. I would have liked to have seen, I'm trying to remember all your questions here. I would have liked to have seen James or Doyle. In fact, I picked Doyle in my team on the left. I was worried about Faz on the left because basically he's played twice on that side that I can remember. One of them he was totally shit, and the second one he was better because he had been moved over in front of him. He didn't do that, and I was like, "Oh, come on, what you doing here? Is he your long lost son or something?" But he had a decent game, so credit where credit's due, and he put the cross in for Vardy's winner. So again, yes, we moan about these things, but we're fans. What the hell do we know about football? Absolutely nothing. Because I actually said at the start, I went for a 2-1, so 3 points in the prediction league. Thank you very much. But I actually caveated that with now I've seen the team, I'm actually going to go 1-1. So look, like you say, we all sort of moaned a little bit at the team. Enzo got it right on the day. Yes, maybe he needed a bit of luck. Maybe he needed the fact that they had a couple of Dackers in the team and their main striker was out. But, we need the luck. We haven't had the luck against Plymouth. What Plymouth and Millwall did to us, we did to West Brom. So bring it on.
Bring it on, mate. That's it. Spot on. Well said. Give Hamza his flowers. He fully deserves them. But I am still looking forward to Ricky P coming in. And also don't forget that Connor Cody has not played a lot of football. So I give him the benefit of the doubt. There was quite a few times where Faze didn't track his runner, and I thought like he'd left the boys exposed, but he got lucky. It was good to see his passion, celebrating, defending the set pieces, and it was even better to see the way Enzo reacted at the end of that game. That's what you want to see. It means something to the boys. We're not giving up. Now, just going to quickly get into some comments here. Doug, how you going, mate? Best Liverpool fan we know. Absolute legend.
Go that far.
This is us a little bit. You just don't like it because it's killing you in the predictions league, mate. Doyle would have been 100% been better on the left, despite Faze having a relatively okay game. I had him in my starting 11 as well, mate. I agree. The pink pass he does are invaluable. Yes, he does make a lot of good diagonal long balls. It's really great in getting the wingers into the game. Brad, I blame Daka. We won. Brad, if you want to join, man, I'll send you a link. If not, please refrain from any rubbish comments about Daka. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. How you going, Jeff? It will be tough, but we have a great chance of beating Southampton, especially with Adam Armstrong. Is it Stuart? Is it or Adam? I'm sure it was.
It's Armstrong.
Let's just call him Armstrong. That's all that matters. Also, I believe their first choice keeper is out. I think it's Bazunu or Bazu. I'm sorry if I got that wrong.
I had a great friend of the channel, Fuels. He worked for Matchday Vlog, the Southampton channel, and we always just it was great having it because I couldn't do the last preview of the other game with him. But it was like, when you start a new school and you see an old friend across the yard, you go, hey, it was nice to have him back on last night. He's not hopeful, but like he said, let's not take anything for granted. Yes, as Doug said, Middlesbrough do us a favour tonight. We beat Southampton, we promoted. But Southampton are not out of it. You know, they're playing us. They're playing Leeds on the last day. They, as things stand at the moment, I think they can still make the top two. Let me just have a look. I mean, it might be different after tomorrow night, but at the moment they've got 84 with 3 games left. So
I've just pulled it up here. So Cardiff was a shock loss. They've got us.
We love the Welsh.
Always. Southampton, the absolutely tamping. Sorry for that horrible Welsh accent. So they've got us away, and the last time we played them 4-1. Now, granted, it was feels like a lifetime ago, but also so fast since we played them last. A lot's changed since then, but 4-1. You're at that game, mate. You're good luck when you go to games. I think we're gonna have to ship you out to all the other games.
Contribute to my Leicester City ticket fund, and
yes,
I'll do what I can for you.
Make a donation to our lucky talisman. They got us. They've got Stoke, and then they've got Leeds. That is getting better and better. At first, there was starting to look like it was going to be Leeds cutting adrift from those playoffs, but unfortunately for Leeds, I really don't care. They've shit the bed, unfortunately, and they could beat Borough, but Borough, I think
they're still there, Borough.
They're still there. That's what I mean. They're trying for playoffs, right? So it's.
I think they are. I don't think they can make the playoffs, Borough. They're on 63 with 3 games left. I'd give them 72. Yeah, they're on the same points as Norwich, but the goal difference is way, way worse than Norwich. So they'd have to beat something like 7 or 8-0 or something like that. So yeah, I think their playoffs are over. But I mean, just looking at what Brad said there, if results go the way, Southampton could still get it, but they need a lot of results to go their way. But they're not going to give up, and they beat us twice last season, and they were the worst team in the league. So let's not get too confident. But Brad, have a word with your dad, mate, up there. Make sure he's looking down on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, Middlesbrough, I don't think have lost in 6, if I am correct, mate. I think Middlesbrough could cause. I think Leeds are getting a little bit jittery, if I'm honest with you.
Well, what's interesting is if you see, I went on some Leicester, I did a full Easy B, and I went onto some Leeds pages to have a look, and I didn't quite stoop to that level, but I thought about it. But all the comments were eerily reminiscent of where we were. We still kind of could be in a blip, you could say, even though we just won, but very similar to a lot of our voices, devoid of ideas. If our wings don't get involved, we look poor. It was very interesting, and it's kind of come from nowhere, and everyone's dropped points. Southampton now has, Ipswich we've dropped stupid points. So the pressure is, I think, starting to get to everyone at the business end of the season. We've played a lot of games. But everyone's kind of counting on people around them when we should just be focusing on ourselves.
Middlesbrough, just going back, Middlesbrough haven't lost in 6. They've drawn 4, and even a draw would help us out. But they have won 2. All right, one of those was against Sheffield Wednesday, and the other one was against Swansea. But they held Ipswich to a draw last time out. They held Southampton to a draw. But they could only hold Blackburn to draw. So they're 5th in the form table based on the last 6 games. Leeds are not. They're 14th in the form table at the moment, Leeds. They've lost 2. They lost against Blackburn last time out. I love Blackburn. I used to work there. Brilliant play. Sunderland they drew with. So, look, anything can happen. And as I do think, like you say, Leeds, the fans are sounding like Leicester fans have been over the last few games. So, let's hope they'll be literally not just taking it, but on their knees. At the end. See what I did there?
You've been practicing that in the mirror all morning.
What I do in the mirror is no business of yours.
Get my starting 11 up, mate. I'm just going to get some comments up. Osman, Saints' mentality next game will be filled with doubt. We need to play high intensity while still playing our style, quote, and make them panic. Yes, so this is going to be interesting because he kind of like plays like a watered down Rodgers, Russell Martin. It's kind of suicide football sometimes. They play really high lines, so it'd be very interesting if our wingers are on point and have the beating of their man. We could be dangerous, but at the same time, Southampton should not be taken lightly. But I'm just saying,
when we played them, of course, they were in their dip, if you like, and they started well, and then they lost about 4 or 5, and they slipped down the table. After that, I think 4 or 5 games, they went on the longest unbeaten run in their history.
Yes. And they've looked great, and we shouldn't take them lightly. But at the same time, I don't know why, but I just have a feeling that I think this is going to suit us this game, and I think we're going to be looking confident now. If we shit the bed again, you can all blame me. I might have given it the kiss of death, but I'm feeling a lot more positive about this game than I have been the last couple. Brad, I think he's referring to the Armstrong brothers, Steve or Evil Steve. Chris, Saints are finishing losing to Cardiff. Yeah, well, let's wait. Yeah,
Brad, not mathematically.
That
fat lady hasn't started singing yet.
Not yet. Imagine going on top on goal distance for one game.
And Brad,
top 2. He's given a large, isn't he?
I'm going to say, no, I'm saying, can he actually get spell check on his computer? Goal distance, I think you mean goal difference there. I mean, yesterday we didn't have a watch along, we had a quatch along with a Q. I don't know what one of those were. Come on, mate, get your spell check working.
Brad, I'm seeing the link, man, if you want to join. If not, glad to have you in the comments, mate. Chris, I'm going to pull up my starting 11 for you to slag off. Now, I always tell myself I want to just put out a starting 11 that I would like to see, but I've kind of blended the two, what I expect and what I would like to see. So don't judge me too harshly.
Have you got a goalkeeper?
I've got a goalkeeper, mate.
I'm
not feeling that confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, we may as well put Hamza as a goalkeeper, actually. Yeah, we'll play Ricky Pay. We'll just put Hamza in the goals, yeah? Okay. Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah. You've got... Oh, Cody's going to be a bit knackered, isn't he?
Cody's going to be a bit knackered, mate, but he's...
he's playing on the left and on the right.
Oh, no. Look at him. This is... We need 2 Codys.
I know, okay. I know his experience, but come on, mate. Give the guy a chance.
You're just making up for lost time, and you rushed me, mate. Okay. Connor Cody starting in the right position.
Put your goalkeeper on, and then we know expecting one player to play. You're thinking of camping, aren't you?
Right. Okay, Manson clearly in goals. Connor Cody in their right-hand side in that back 3 alongside Vestergaard. And the second Cody is meant to be Doyle. I would like to see Doyle start today. I think he offers a lot with his left foot and those passes as well.
Today? It is today for you, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, you're throwing me off more.
It's tomorrow for us.
No. Yeah, okay. Anyways. Sorry. 2 Codys. Okay. I expect to see Ricky P back in that position. Hamzas did really well, but I think it's been great that Ricky P's had a rest for a 490 because we're going to need him, mate. Now, I'm expecting him to have a big game. I think this is going to suit him this game, and I'm actually backing him to get a goal. So you heard that here first. Harry Winks, he's been quiet, but he's not done a lot wrong, but I don't know what it is, but he's been quiet the last 4 to 5 weeks, mate. But still, we expect him to play that position. Fatawu, I've been shouting for Yunus for a while to get more of a run out, but Fatawu is still doing decent, and it's a shame. So I like Yunus, but Fatawu did brilliant, did great to get the set up the second goal. Still so lively. The end product's not there, but the ceiling is so high for the kid. Dennis Pratt, I've gone for. Now, this is what I wanted to talk to you about, and you might disagree on, and I can completely understand why for picking him over LTiDtv. Now, I know LTiDtv got that first goal, and it was brilliant that he was there. It was on target from Vardy, the header, but still LTiDtv was there to mop it up. But he did have his best game last week, and other than that goal, for me, I still think he's been great, and stats do show that when he's playing, we do well, particularly when he's not in the side. But in that advanced high pressing 8 position, I'm still not sold. There's a lot of times where he gets the ball and hesitates, and it slows down the play a little bit because he hasn't got that keen eye for goal. He's not going to bang a worldie outside the box. Still, he's great for recovering the ball at the pitch and also for linking up for Towie, but we haven't really seen that the last 2 to 3 weeks. So I would like to see Pratt. I think he's a lot more reliable on the ball, almost like similar to the wings position, but just higher up the pitch. Now, Keenan Dewsbury Hall, I think he was still a bit crook when he played. I'm expecting him hopefully to have a much better game. LTiDt's pretty much got that spot in lockdown. Now, I've gone for Jamie Vardy up front again, and this is where possibly we'll split opinions because people want to see Cannon, me, myself included. But what I think's happening is now Vardy's got that goal. Enzo's trusting him. He's made up for his last 2 missed chances in that game. But also, I don't think we're going to see Vardy. And I think he's just been trusted because it's Jamie Vardy to see the season out and give him hopefully the send-off that he deserves with us going to the Premier League.
Right. Where do you want me to start? No.
Start one of the 2 Codys if you like.
It's not far off what I would. If we weren't playing till the weekend, pretty much wouldn't find a lot of fault with that. But, I probably agree with you. In fact, for the last game, the one before West Brom, I'd made about 5 changes, I think, in that team. So, yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I agree. I agree with Cody. I agree with Vestergaard. And yeah, obviously, whether that's Justin or Doyle, they've both got, if you could merge the 2, you'd have had the perfect player for that position. But Doyle can ping a good pass like Vestergaard can, but Justin offers us, he can operate forward. He can go past LTiDt. Doyle, I don't know. I'd probably go for Justin out of the 2, to be honest with you. Ricardo, yeah, even as good a game as Chowdhury had, he's got to come back in. For God's sake, Chowdhury must be bloody knackered, Winks, how can you not pick Winks? That's the only trouble with him, If you drop him, all right, maybe not give him the 90, see how the game goes. But if you drop him at the start, you're probably losing more than you're gaining by putting somebody on who's a bit more, not as knackered, not having just played. Pratt, 100%. I agree with you totally. Dewsbury Hall, drop him. I'm sorry, he's not. He's knackered. The guy is absolutely knackered. I think him and Winks have probably played more games than anybody. Let's get somebody else in that role.
Who would that be?
I said the other day, for me, probably be Eunice. Because when I saw Eunice play against Bournemouth, all right, he couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo. He'd been taking shooting lessons off Daka. But what he did was he ran at the defence and he was running. It was like, every time he got the ball, he was running at the defence. And the defence daren't tackle him because giving a penalty away. Now, of course, we've not got VAR to back the referee up. So, that was a fantastic game he had. And he was scaring the Bournemouth defence. And I think that's what we've got to go for it at Southampton. We can't sit back, I don't think. I think, it is a must-win game, really, because we could put it all to bed and relax for the last 2 games. You know what I mean? So, and then maybe bring Dewsbury Hall on if it's not working. But Dewsbury Hall, he's absolutely knackered, And so we've got to consider as well that we've got the 2 games so close together. LTiDt, I guess I do get what you're saying about him being, he's made that his own. It's not been. If I drop, because I would bring McAteer on again because he hadn't let us down. He scored a good goal before he was injured, and he played fantastic down that left. I think it was Northampton pre-season, but definitely in the pre-season game, he was amazing. I'm like, who is this guy? This was before we bought LTiDtv. If I'm dropping one of Fatawu or LTiDtv, it probably has to be LTiDtv. Fatawu in that cross when he set that goal up for Jamie Vardy, he'd done nothing all game, and then suddenly he just pings the perfect cross in. Vardy gets on the end of it, and thank you very much. It was Vardy's goal. So yeah, I probably drop LTiDtv and give McAteer a go. Look, we're allowed 5 substitutes. I know Enzo doesn't always like playing 5, but we are allowed 5. Let's give some of these players a rest, Now, Jamie Vardy, no, he for me. Look, I don't know. I write Jamie Vardy off at my peril, don't I? Really, but he's just played. What was it? 80 odd minutes at the weekend. Bring him on as a sub for the last 20 minutes. He's 37. He had a good game, and don't get me wrong. Yes, he hit the penalty, which I still say Daka would have scored, but he missed the penalty. But he was still there for the second goal, and I don't want to put him on, and he have one of those games where he has 3 touches all game and doesn't score. Bring him on with 20 minutes to go when he can go absolutely bananas for 20 minutes and really go at Southampton. He likes a goal against Southampton. He scored in the first minute in the game at the St Mary's early on in the season. In fact, I tell you what, I'm going to go back. Actually, I'm going to go back and I'm going to correct myself. Actually, here I'd start with Cannon. I really would. I'll tell you what I'd do as well. I'd put Eunice on for Fatawu and McAteer on for LTiDtv to start. And I'd actually probably play in that Kieran Dewsbury Hall role. I'd probably stick Iheanacho.
I've been calling. Okay. Oh my God. All right. Now I don't sound like a stupid Australian anymore. I've been saying that.
You still sound like you've got Cody in twice. You're still a stupid Australian.
Yeah, I am. Fair enough. I've walked into that one. Well, look, I've been saying that for a while, mate. This is the only shame is we haven't even seen him being on the bench for the last couple of games. Now, I would love Kelechi to play in that high pressing 8 role because he is so brilliant at dropping deep and link up play. Now, do you remember? I think it was the West Ham game. I can't remember which game it was last season. The one where he set up the goal after he pulled his groin and he still managed to get the ball off. And then I think it was West Ham. I can't remember, mate, but it was brilliant. Things like that are excellent. Now, your favorite example of the Moscow game where Daka had his 4 goals, one of the rare times that the Seal played 2 strikers. Nearly every single one of those goals, if you remember, were put on him on a platter for Daka by Kelechi. He was excellent in that game. I think he fed him nearly all those goals. I would love Kelechi to play in that position, but I don't think he will. I agree with you. Kieran Dewsbury Hall's looking leggy, still looking like he was recovering from being ill. I think Eunice, I like him, but I prefer him on the wing. Now, he's done it before, and the Bournemouth was a great...
I would now put him on the wing because I'd bring Kells into that.
Okay. If we were going by what you originally said by replacing Kieran Dewsbury Hall for Eunice, it's a shame because Eunice doesn't have that physicality in the English style of football for his size, although he's brilliant, and I agree. I think he looks better on the wing. Now, McAteer on for LTiDtv, I don't like McAteer on the left-hand side. I prefer him on the right. I don't think he's as effective. I'm surprised you agreed with me about Pratt. Vardy,
you said it perfectly there. Indeed, he has been a little bit off form, and perhaps he can play that role.
He can. So, and you're right, man. I have to remind myself that Vardy is 37 and he's just played. So, 100%, I would like to see Cannon. It's probably going to be Daka, knowing Enzo Rogers.
Feelings on Daka, don't you? But and somebody says Duncan. I don't know why he wants Patson to play. Yes, his confidence has been shot. We can't. We need to win these games now. We've got 3 games left. I'm not, as much as I think, and it's not that I think Daka's a brilliant player. I just don't think he deserves the abuse he gets when Vardy doesn't get the same when he misses, if you like. That was always my argument with Daka. Should he be on that even in the squad? No. And I was really annoyed when he came on for the other game in the last 10 minutes. And yes, all right, against West Brom, he ran the ball down. He was on a yellow card within 2 minutes of coming on. But yes, his confidence is shot. And If it was in the start of the season, give him a couple of games to maybe get a goal and what have you. But now we've got 3 games left. Win this, as the result goes through us tonight. Win this, and we are promoted. We haven't got time to fuck about giving players confidence games and what have you. We need to go for it. Daka,
Go for it.
put him off. I know Kells, you're saying Kells hasn't got his heart in it. If Kells is leaving at the end of the season, and who knows if we will or not, because we can't even re-sign him ourselves at the moment because of the PSR. If he is to go, if he's not playing, who's going to come in for him? Who's going to offer him a chance? He wants to get on that pitch. Maybe, I'm extending it, but get a hat trick, and then both teams will be queuing up to buy him. Oh no, not he'll be free, but sign him. So he has got something to prove still. All these players have that are out of contract. Look how many players that were out of contract this time last season. How many of them went on to get clubs? Only 2 or 3, because the rest of them hadn't been playing and nobody really knew much about them.
Yeah, I forgot where Mendy went. I know that
he went to a French team, I think.
I think he went to a French team.
Yeah, so Southampton got signed up.
Yep, and he's moved again, and Marty went to a Turkish club, I believe, as well. And we know where everyone else went. McAteer instead of Steph, says Duncan here. McAteer instead of Steffi. Patson instead of Vards. Got to encourage Daka as his confidence has been shattered by Fox's fans. Yes, mate, I don't agree with the bullying. But in terms of confidence, I think that's why I want to see Cannon, because you want him to come on with a point to prove. And I also believe that I don't think he's ever done anything wrong. I've never watched a game where he's few and far in between Cannon and felt frustrated by him. All of his shots, I haven't gone for a bit on target.
You don't agree with you? You're one of Daka's worst bullies. What are you on about?
No, okay. Well, I wouldn't boo him. Well, maybe I would, but like.
No, I do. I get.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You know,
I feel sorry for him. I don't dislike the guy.
He shouldn't be near that squad at the moment. I'm sorry. I like him, but we haven't got time to mess about with him.
No, we don't.
Shots. Look at his face when he got taken off in that other game.
Plymouth. It was sad, mate. Look, he was going to cry, didn't he? I felt guilty after that. I was like, you know what? I think he had a decent run before AFCON. I think we're trying to put him in the shop window because Kel's not in. We can't put him in the shop window because he's out of contract. Pat Daka's got 1 more year. I don't even know if he's going to want to be here. But look, don't get another good.
Well, these players are out of contract. They don't give a damn, etc., etc. Look at Soyuncu. He was out of contract. He'd been dropped by Rodgers. So far, he was down. He was training with the under-18s or whatever it was. John Terry came in, who knows a thing or two about defending, was watching him and saying, "What the hell is he doing training with the youngsters?" Got him back in, and we'd played better defensively when he was back in. So these players, they will, given the chance, still, they're not going to go out and think, "I'm going to have a bad game today, sod the club. I don't care, I'm going to score an own goal." They're not going to do that.
No, not at all. It's going to get in some comments here, mate. I've got a fair few to get through. Southampton play a high line, so have pace, bring Vards on later. I agree. No Kell. Duncan's not a fan of Kelechi. Hopefully Brad's not still in. His heart ain't in it now. I don't know about that. I think it's a bit harsh. I agree with Chris. Start with Cannon and use Vardy as super sub when Southampton will be tiring.
I agree. He talks a lot of sense, that man.
Next season. If Daka starts, we need to encourage him. Let's not forget that football is a team game and win or lose is a team. Yep, spot on, Jeff. Cannon has no pace, which we need versus Southampton. Yeah, I wouldn't say you could say that, but at the same time, he's also got that physicality. But I understand what you're saying, mate. But again, what good is pace if you've got a decent shot on goal? And that's something that Cannon definitely does have, in my opinion. Daka has a knife in his back of your name in it, Luke.
Duncan, we may disagree on 1 or 2 of things, but yes, if there was a prize for the comment of the day,
that's comment of the day for sure. Duncan, you're a legend. Blimey, my sentence construction's gone to bits. Yeah, well, at least you haven't got 2 coders in your starting 11, Jeff. It's all good, mate. Chris, mate.
Good on this just to see your team.
At least they got a goalkeeper this time.
Yeah, indeed.
Chris, mate, I think that's just about everything. Anything else you want to add before you give me a score prediction?
No, I mean, I will be watching. I'm doing a show tonight, but I will be watching out my left eye to see, if Middlesbrough can do us a favour. I mean, it would. A couple of weeks ago, you said to me like, "Oh my God, I can't. I'm not going to sort of grow old supporting Leicester." This is Leicester. This is Leicester all over. And look, whatever happens over the next 4 games, if we don't go up, nobody's died. We've not been bombed. There's people out there that are worse off. This is just a game of football, and I have to go back to the start of the season and say, I actually said I would be happy with 7th or 8th if it meant we could go up, as like Burnley did the season after. Now, with a good run comes greater expectations. We had that good run. All right, we had our bad patch. The bad thing about a bad patch, if that makes sense, is that when it costs you, we're still top. We had that bad patch, and yet we're still top because other teams also had little mini bad patches and didn't take advantage. Maybe, just maybe, our name's on that trophy.
Don't jinx, for God's sake. We're gonna lose it. We're going to playoffs. I was trying to anti-jinx it there. Yeah, maybe, mate. I would hope so. Let's hope results go away. But again, destiny is in our hands. Football is a religion and tribunal. It's life and death for many up the foxes. That's right, mate. It's working class man sport. Chris, give me a score prediction.
Sorry, working class, and then you see you in Australia. Trying to think what I went for the other night. I went 2-1 with the proviso of I would still take a draw. A draw, as long as we don't lose it. It's not a must win, but it is definitely a mustn't lose game.
Fair enough.
Because
I'm going to go.
No, they're 4th in the table. They are still in that shout with a shout of going up. They're not going to get caught and drop out the playoffs, so they're guaranteed at least that. But look, they beat us twice last season. We got them at a low ebb earlier in the season, but then you've got to look. It's a second choice goalkeeper. It's a second choice striker. X. Yeah. If we draw, I'll be disappointed depending how it plays out. But let's just hope. The big thing I hope is that we didn't use up all our luck on Saturday.
Jeez, you're really trying to give us the kiss of death tonight. I'm going to go for, look, I think Armstrong being injured and their first choice goalkeeper being out is a big deal. I think I've been watching a lot of Southampton content, but they feel like they have no impact subs to come off the bench. I'm feeling a bit more confident about this one, but every time I've said that, we've been battered, and every time I feel like we're going to lose, we win. So I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to go for 3. No, I can't do that anymore. I've lost the confidence for the 4-0s. I'm going to go 3-0 for Leicester
3-0,
City.
Luke. Oh, I'm writing that down so you don't forget it.
And while I'm in a bonus score prediction, I'm going to go Borough 4, Leeds 0. Take the knee. Okay. Chris, thank you so much for joining. You're a legend.
Anytime,
Duncan,
mate. Anytime.
Thank you for your comments, everyone. I really appreciate it. Duncan, I don't care even about the score as long as it's a win. 3 points is 3 points. Same thing goes for the West Brom game. I don't care how ugly the win is. It's 3 points, and it was good to see some grit and graft from the boys. Chris, thanks as always. Give a shout out to where everyone can find you.
Yeah, LTiDtv, as you can see just there, or to give it its full name, LTiDtv on YouTube. We're expanding on TikTok, and we're on Instagram as well. And if you're not, well, I don't know what time it is in Australia, but wherever you are in the world, 7 o'clock UK time this evening, we will be having the debate show. We'll be talking season ticket price increase, plus £25 if you want a card. We'll be talking Hamza Chowdhury, the FFP, and the fact that King Power now also got the naming rights to the training ground. So that will help with that. And of course, FA Cup, no replays. And as a club that's only just recently won the FA Cup, how do we feel about that? So we've got a lot of topics to cover tonight. Bring your sleeping bags along.
Thanks, mate. And also, guys, please check out that show because, in my opinion, it's one of my favorite shows that Chris does on his channel. It's a great show. He's going to have Dave and the celebrity Kate on his channel. So
this is why everybody likes it. It's all for Kate, isn't it? That's what everybody's doing.
Thank you, guys. And as Duncan said here, mate, I really appreciate that. Please, I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you, Jeff, for tuning in. Appreciate it as always. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Oh, if I can just end this. I just want to look at Chris a bit longer.